Hello, hello, everybody. Yeah, see how you can see all this? Sorry, we're just getting situated. I have had a crazy day today. So give me just a second to get lined up. I'm gonna push this out and I'm gonna pull this over. Does that work? I think I'm cockeyed. Yeah, cockeyed. Hello, Laren. All right. Just give me a second. Hello, Dana. Hi, everyone. Hi, Margaret Ann. Just give me a second while I get myself organized. Just trying to get comfy. I've been standing all day, and when I sit down, I'm just kind of not like comfortable. Hi, Trish. Hey, Julie. How are you, hon? How is England? How's the weather? Have you guys cooled off? I was thinking about you when it was so hot. All right, so hi, Jeannie. We are going to make some topper cards. And these are from Craft Consortium. Oh, it's so easy. I am addicted. I made 4 of these cards since I saw you this afternoon, Laren. So it was fun to do. I'm totally addicted. We're going to zoom down once I get going. It's hot again this week. Yeah, you know, it's been hot here too. Last week we were in the 40s. I'm not really into that hot, so I hope it cools. I'm a snow girl, so I'm looking forward to the snow. Anyway, so we are going to recreate this card here. And as always, after my demo, once you guys like the video, comment, then I will enter you into a draw and someone can win this. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Jeannie. So as you can see, these are quite dimensional. I'm going to turn them on the side. They're not much thicker than if we did, oops, I got to get in the camera, sorry. If we did any of our dimensional flowers. So there's a lot of pop dots in here, as you can tell. This kind of takes us back to paper towel. Hi, Deborah. So we're going to have some fun recreating one. I'm going to just walk you through the card, how I created it. With one kit, and I'm using In the Forest, which is this one with the bears. So if you say you want the bears, this is In the Forest. And you get 10 sheets, you get 5 designs, 2 sheets of each, and a pre-cut. They're pre-cut and they're acid-free. So you have enough to make 8 cards, and then they also give you 2 extra sheets. And these are just extras that you can then embellish and, you know, do those kinds of things. Hi, Brenda. Yes, they are. They're exactly like paper towel. So back in the, I don't know, 70s and 80s when everyone was doing the big scenes of paper towel. So as you can see on this one, I added the little butterfly from here. So you can just pop these out and then add them wherever you want to add onto your card, just to add more, to have more embellishments. So it's a lot of fun. You do use a lot of pop dots. And when you punch out, this is what you're left with. So you're not wasting anything. You use everything on here. So that will go in the burn barrel. Now, in years past, we have had other ones from Craft Consortium. We had Polar Pals, and that was the polar bear collection. Now, last year and the year before, we also had Made by Elves. Now, I only have 1 of these left, and I am going to order more. Actually, I've already ordered them. I'm just waiting for them. And then I only have 1 left of the Bluebells and Buttercups. So once I get more of these in, I've also ordered in more of the gnome time, or no, it's Snome time. Those were popular when the Made by Elves was out, so we have more of those coming as well. And I would think they're going to be here by the end of next week. So for those that are wanting to get into this and maybe get the grandkids or your own kids to work on these, they are very, very simple to do. Of course, I've added a few extra little elements. I've put some pink fresh bling on here. I've put some twine on. This one I kept it just pretty simple with some wood grains. So if you want to do for a young man or a boy, at least this way it's a little masculine without being, you know, crazy masculine. And then this one we're going to score our paper so it looks like it is corrugated. And then I'm just going to punch a hole. We're going to thread some ribbon. My ribbon comes through the back. And I always like having these on hand so that when you have your ribbon in the back, you could actually secure it. And then if you were going to put a gift card or some money, you could just slide a little gift card in behind the ribbon on the inside of the card. So I do like, some people say, oh, that's a waste of ribbon. It's not really. If you then secure it and then slide some cash or a gift certificate in here, it's going to hold it nice for you. So it's not really a waste, and it just adds an extra little touch. Now, I must say that while I was doing these, I was thinking to myself, for everybody that goes to the cottage, or you're going to house sit, or you're watching the grandkids, these would be perfect for you to create all of these bases and then go home and then make your cards and put your cards together. So the only thing that you require is pop dots and ink, because of course I ink the edges of everything, so I inked all my edges. You would or would not do that. But even if you just sat and did all the layering of all 8 of them, you would have half of your project done. Then by the time you get home, you do your card bases, and you don't have to be as elaborate as I was. You could just keep them nice and simple. This one to me is very simple. All you have to do is layer them. Okay, I know they are, Jeannie. I am totally addicted to toppers. So they're calling them 3D decoupage. Decoupage to me, and I know this is a British term, so Julie, I'm not sure if it's the same there, but decoupage to me is when we would layer paper or fabric over a mold and then put Mod Podge on it. To me, it's more of a layering, like flat thing than it is paper toll. So I'm not sure. So I'm calling them toppers. You guys can call them what you like. So these are the 4 that you would create. Now, for my sentiment, I'm using the Crafters Workshop Sprinkle Kindness. It's one of my favorite new stamps. I've been using the heck out of it. I just love all the sentiments on here. I showed it a week or so ago. So I absolutely love this. And then, of course, I'm going to use my Hero Arts Intense Black. I have my Dries Clear, which I'm not really going to use a lot of. I am using Vintage Photo for my inking. And of course I have an arsenal of my tools that I need, a glitter pen, I need a pokey tool, I have my awesome jewel picker, my scoring tool, my bone folder, and then of course I have my Pink Fresh Bling and the new Pink Fresh tray, which I'm absolutely addicted to. So, we have a little piece of ribbon, we have my stamp platform, and some pop dots, and we're ready to go. So the first thing we're going to do, now this is the card that we're going to do. So this is what the sheet looks like. And for anyone that missed yesterday's live, on each one of these images, it will tell you layer 1 through layer 6 or however many layers there are. Okay, so the first one we're going to start with is layer 1, then we're going to go to layer 2, we're going to go to layer 3. Now on one of the cards there was 2 layer 5 and 2 layer 6s. So you just got to kind of play which one goes where, okay? So we're going to need that. So the first thing we're going to do, just to save time, I have already gone ahead and cut my card base, and this is just an A2 card, okay? So 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 finished. And what we're going to do is we're going to lay it across our 8 1/2. So our 8 1/2 is our long side, and we're going to score at 4 1/4. Get a scoring tool here. So we're going to score at 4 1/4. Okay. Now what I want you to do before you move your paper, at 3 5/8, I want you to start scoring, and I want you to score every 1/8 until we get to 1 1/2. So I'm going to get you to zoom me down so that they can see what I'm doing, because it's hard on white. So just give Gary a second to zoom me down so I know that you're in view here. Come on. Oh, bless you. Bless you. Bless you. All right, so we're going to start at 3 5/8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is going to be our first score. And then we're just going to go every 1/8 all the way down to 1 1/2. And if you miss one, not a worry. You can go back, fill up that space. On white, it's a little hard to see. And all this is doing is it's creating a corrugated look. Now this, what I'm creating right now is what we call a valley, and we don't want the valley. We want the actual mountain side of our score.
Thanks, Deborah.
What?
Deborah says blush.
All right, so there's my 1 1/2. Now what we're going to do is we're going to fold our card, making sure that all of our edges are nice and even. Okay, and then we're going to give it a nice, I'm going to give you this because I don't need it anymore. Give it a nice little crease. And then we want the ridges of our card to be on the top side. So we want the mountains on the top side. Now normally we would score these, or sorry, fold them, but we're not going to. We just want the effect of corrugated cardstock. Okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp my image. Just because I don't want to forget. And you know when you have that feeling that you're going to forget something and it's kind of bothering me, so I think I'm just going to do it right now, and then I don't have to worry about it. So I'm going to stamp "Sending You a Smile," and it's going to be on my card base. Now I will say with these small little stamps, you have to be careful that you don't stretch them when you put them on your platform or your stamping block, because it will make it a little wavy, and we don't want it to be wavy. Okay, so I'm going to use my Intense Black and get this nice and juicy. This is my favorite black. And now we are just going to do a nice little stamp right here. I'm seated, so I'm hoping that this is straight. Okay, and I forgot my baby wipe, but that's all right. We'll just use that. All right, so now I am quite confident that this is done, and I'm happy with this. So what I want to do is I'm going to use a little bit of Vintage Photo, and I'm just going to ink my edges because I want it to have a forest kind of feel. So don't go really heavy because it will not turn out nice. It'll actually really be not a pretty color. And then what I want to do on my ridges, I just want to have a very light touch, and I'm just going to really go light, and I'm just going to go over my ridges and hopefully not bleed too far. And then the ridges are going to stand out and kind of look a little bit like wood grain. But you really have to have a light touch, like barely even touch the cardstock. Just a little kiss of color, and be very light-handed. And don't worry if you get a little bit of the little circles happening. It's okay. My nails today looked horrible because I kept pushing up to my fingernail. So you can play with how dark you want it, how light you want it. Just make sure you try to catch all of those ridges. Okay, so I'm not too concerned about these little circle darker spots here. I can just kind of go over and maybe add a few elsewhere so then it looks like it's meant to be. Sorry, I'm out of screen. You have to remind me, babe, because I'm not watching. I'm watching what I'm doing, not what they're seeing, unfortunately. So that is going to be our card base. And I know it kind of looks like a little bit of a mess right now, but once we get everything all done, it's going to look fabulous. Okay, so it's going to look more like this. So a lot of it is going to be hid behind our panel. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start popping these out. Now, my key thing to say to you is don't pop them all out at one time, because if you get the layers out of order, it's going to screw you up. And take it from somebody that happened to today. So do one layer at a time. Don't be all like thinking that you're a rock star when you're not. So I'm just inking my edges nicely. So that is my layer number 1. So now I'm going to find layer number 2, which is this one, and just pop them out. They're perforated, so they're easy to pop out, but do be gentle because some of them have little tiny pieces here and you don't want to rip them. Now I'm an inker, and because I want a lot of contrast between my layers, I am inking the edges of these as well. Sorry that this is just a little... And then this is just going to go on top of here, okay? So now this is where our pop dots are going to come in. So you're going to use some big pop dots where you can. If you have large strips, you can use those as well. You don't need a ton on here. Squeeze them, do a little bit of CPR, and it takes the back off nice, even when you've got gel on your nails. I know. How are you, Lynn? It's so lovely to see you. Thanks for coming. We just kind of got started, so we are just starting to layer our first layer of our decoupage. So now what I'm going to do, the easiest way I found to do this today was to find a focal point and make sure that it is on the same layer as the one below it. I hope that makes sense. Now there is no pop dot here, they're in the center, but I want this greenery to be flat on this greenery. And then once I know that it is where it's supposed to be, everything else will lay on top of each other, like so. Okay, so you can kind of see the dimension. And having your dries clear on top of your pop dots is a lifesaver, because then it allows you to wiggle it around. Now I'm working on layer 3. So I'm just going to go quick and try to get this part done a little quicker. Okay. And then we're going to do a couple pop dots. You do use a fair amount of pop dots on these, so don't be alarmed when you're going through your stash. Okay, and we're just going to put a little dot on here. And so now this one, we're just doing the bear. We're not doing any of this. We're not doing the log. So now we just got to find where everything is going to sit so that it starts to layer on top of each other. Okay, so now if I bring this up, you can see how the bear is 3D away from the log and away from the background. Okay. So you can kind of see how we're starting to build our image. All right, the next layer we need is number 4. So we're just going to jiggle these apart until they start to come apart. Now this one, do be careful because the little bloom on the bottom is fragile. And if you tear it, don't worry. That's what dries clear is for. And you do not have to ink yours if you are not that kind of person, okay? I just noticed Kathy just came in, and Kathy's not an inker, and I love her anyway. So again, we're just gonna peel off our backs. A little bit of dries clear on here. Now this one, we are mostly focusing on the bear, but now we have less of the greenery, less of the flowers over here. So then now we need to find our little focal point down here. And now we have our 4th layer on. And then we are going to go to layer 5. And if you can see and appreciate this, if you're sitting at a friend's house, you're babysitting, you're at the cottage, you're doing, you know, something where you don't want to bring a lot of stuff, this would be the perfect little project to kind of give you something to do without having to haul everything with you. So you just basically need some pop dots, you need some ink, and that literally is all you need to get started on these. Peel off the backs. And I tried to create 4 different cards, doing a couple different things to show you some variation. Now this one, you'll notice that there's only the raccoon and the bunny. We do not have the bear now. So now we're starting to elevate away from the bear to make these guys really stand out, okay? So now we're just going to place these on top of the image below. Okay. And then the last one we have is layer 6. So this one has 6 layers. So we're just gonna pop these little guys out. I'm gonna continue with my inking. And these would be just fabulous without ink as well. It's just, that's my jam. That's what I like to do. I find it very relaxing. I'm gonna cut one of these pop dots in half because my space does not require a full one. Okay. Take all these little backs off. Look at all the stuff you get to pick up later. Lucky you, eh? Mm-hmm. All right, so now it is just the little raccoon. Isn't he adorable? Oh my gosh, these are just so cute. So now we are going to put this guy on top of here. And now you can kind of see where now he is on top of the bunny. So before he was with the bunny flat, and now he's like in the forefront. The bunny's in the background. So I'm just going to turn this so you can see all the different layers. Okay. Now the one thing that I had said to Gary, and I even made a note for him to remind me, was to make sure that I stamped my sentiment before I did this layer. And he did not remind me. So now I have to figure out how I can get this over here so that my little stamping block will not be in the way and hit everything. Husband. You can't get free good help nowadays, ladies. Sorry, I'm out of screen. All right, can we move this back just a little bit? Just this way. Because I keep moving out of screen. There we go. All right, so I'm just going to ink this up. I'm using the very end of my stamping block. Now I'm going to pull this to me, ladies, sorry, just so that I can make sure that this is straight, or as straight as Leanne is going to get it. Okay, so there. So just by adding my stamp to the very smallest edge allowed me to get into this little spot so that I could get a really cute little sentiment on here. So always remember, ladies, they make these blocks long, they make them thin, they make them thick. This is why, so that we can use little bits and pieces. We don't always have to, you know, have it in the center of our block. All right, so now the next thing that I want to do, I am going to punch a little hole. I was going to do an eyelet, and I thought, you know what, it's fun just to use the little hole. So all I did was I poked a hole in my layer 1, which is my base, just here, and then I threaded the ribbon through it. So I'm just going to take my little poker tool, and I have a little piece of foam, and I'm just going to find where I think I want it to be, and I'm going to poke a hole. Shove it right up through so that I get a nice size hole. Now I have a whole yard of ribbon here just because I'm not the type that is just going to pick a little bit out. I think I want it the other way. I want my ribbon to come up. Have my ribbon come up so that my tail is out here. Okay. And then what I'm going to do, always pull enough ribbon so that you have enough on your tail at the one end. Okay. Then we're going to bring in our card base. And before I go too much farther, I'm just going to put some pop dots on the back of this because we're going to pop this on. And one of you ladies will win this card. Make sure you leave a comment and do all of the things, and then your name will go into a draw. So this is all I've done on the back piece of my layer 1. Absolutely, Bev. We have quite a few of these bear ones. They're called In the Woods. All right. So now what I want to do is I want to figure out where I want this on my card base, okay? And then I'm going to secure it, making sure that my ribbon flows underneath. I want it to be able to move, okay? So that if we put the pop dots on here, I wouldn't be able to pull it out. So it's much better to have it where you can secure these and know that the ribbon is going to move around for you, so that if you don't have enough of a tail, that's why I always say when it comes to ribbon, you need more. So make sure that this is nice and taut in your hand so that your ribbon is as straight as possible. And you're just going to plunk this down like so. Okay, so now I can still pull my ribbon. Okay, so my ribbon's still going to move. And then what I want to do is I want to make sure that this side is nice and straight. And I'm going to bring it up along the back side of the inside of the card. Lay it flat. And I'm going to create a bow. Okay, so you see how easy this is? Like, this is just super, super easy, super fun. Make sure that you pull it quite taut, but be sure that you don't fold it too tight that it actually curls your cardstock, because you don't want that to happen either, okay? And then I'm not going to bother, well, actually I might just make a nice knot, hold this nice and tight. Okay, now I always like to make my bows upside down. I find that when you make a bow upside down, the bow lays better. So we're just going to pull this around. Okay, so see how pretty that bow is? And then I always put my finger on the center of my bow, pull my tails to be sure where I want it. Make sure that the bow is nice and tight. Don't worry if you flatten the bow while you're working on it. Okay, don't worry about that because you can go back and fluff it up. Once you have your bows, your little bow part here where you want it, put your finger in the center, grab both lengths of the tail and pull really hard. And that keeps these tails coming forward. And then you can just kind of trim them to wherever you like. Now you can do what I just did, which is an angled end if you want, or if you're super fussy, I'm not going to do it on this one. I'll show you on the end of my paper. Okay, so if you wanted just to have a nice little end on your ribbon, you can just cut up the center, well, without scissors that have glue on them. Sorry, I had to grab my small ones. So the easiest way to do this is just cut up the center and then come from each side to the center, and that will create your tail with your little, oh, what's the word for this? I keep forgetting what this word is. So it gives you this little look on the end, like a little fishtail. There's a word for it. I can't think of what it is. Yeah, so you can do this on the end of your ribbon as well, if that's something that you like, instead of it just being a pointed end. Okay, so as you can tell, this card has not taken me a lot of time to do. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to bring in my bling and my jewel picker, and I'm going to empty a little bit of my gold bling into my tray, which I love. So for you that have not seen me do this, when you pour these in, they're all haphazard and not where you want them, and they're hard to pick up. But if you take this tray and you shake it, they all level onto the flat side. So now you can easily pick them up, and look at, they're all flat. If I don't drop this, they are all flat in the bottom of the tray. And this is a game changer. I promise you, it is a game changer, especially for arthritis, especially for ladies that have to try to use tweezers. It's a pain in the bottom. So I'm a 3 girl. Everything with me is in 3s. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to make 3 little dots of glue, maybe. So I kind of do like a pyramid thing. And then I'm going to go in with my tool picker up your upper. You have a large end on one end and a smaller end on the other end, and they're sticky to pick up your bling. Now I did not get one of the big ones. So let me just do this again. Oops, I got too many in there. All right, so I want my big one. So this little jewel picker picks it up. I'm going to put my big one on there, and then of course I'm going to size them down. And don't worry if your little dollop of glue is more than you needed. It's going to dry clear, so not a worry for that. And then I had 3 small ones down on the bottom of here, but I think I'm going to put them above the sending you a smile because my stamp is a little low on this side. So we're going to change it up a little bit, and we're just going to do 3 in a row. And we're just going to use the smallest ones because we don't really want to take too much away from the ones at the top. And these are so easy to put on now that I have the jewel picker and I have this little tray. And then I like to just be sure that they're as straight as can be. Make sure when you're using your jewel picker, when you're not using it, you put the lid on it. Just the same as your dries clear, get in the habit. And then that way you know that A, your glue is not going to dry, and that this is not going to get all full of fur and tacky stuff that you don't want it to be stuck on there. Okay. And then the other thing that I love about this tray is that when you open the tray and you're done, this long pointed part on here allows you just to pour them all back in. They don't spill. It's fabulous. You need one. Now the last thing we're going to do is I'm going to take a glitter pen, sorry, and I forgot one more thing. On my original, they give you a couple extra pieces, and I just realized that I forgot them. So this is an extra. So we're just going to pop these out. And there's also a little mushroom. Now I'm going to use everything on this sheet because I know myself and I know if I don't use it, it's just gonna go in the garbage. So I might as well use it. So I'm going to put this little mushroom just with a little bit of glue, and I'm going to tuck him so that he kind of is coming out behind the log. And then this little piece, which is a little floral bunch, I'm actually going to pop this. I'm gonna have to probably cut my pop dots in half because it's a small little piece, maybe not. Okay. Thank you, Dana. So now I've just put a little bit of this on the back, a little bit of my dries clear, just a little dollop so that I can move it around. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this on top of my log to give it a little something something. Okay, so that is kind of where we're at with this card. And then I'm going to take my glitter pen, and this is just a clear overlay, so there's no color in it. I'm not sure if you guys are going to actually be able to see how beautiful this is. I will try. And I'm just going to do a little bit here and there, a little bit on my bunny. And then I'm going to put a little bit on here. I'm going to post photos that I've already taken as well, and post these so that you can see all of our finished cards. And I like to add, I was a blackbird in my last life, so for me, I absolutely want glitter. So to me, there is no thing is too much glitter. All right. And then don't forget down in here, because people are going to see these too, right? So we're just going to put a little bit here, there. I'm going to cover all of my raccoon because he's really in the forefront. And my leaves over here. I'm going to put my lid on. I'm going to bring this up as close as I can for you guys to see. So that is how you make these toppers. Aren't they absolutely gorgeous? And the dimension on them is incredible. But again, I don't feel that they're any thicker than if you do a Heartfelt Creations flower on the front. So again, I'm going to bring all of them back in, the 4 that I did today, so that you can see them. And be sure to like the video and comment, and you will be entered in to win the card that I just created. So these are all 4 of the cards that you can make. You actually will make 8 in total. There's enough for 8 of these cards. And then you can just do a bunch of different things with them. You can add wood grain. You can do something a little bit more feminine with some pretty colors. All of them have the dimension. So you're going to have a lot of pop dots. You will go through some pop dots, so don't be complaining to me. But you're going to have so much fun. So I'm going to have Christmas ones in. Again, we only have 1 of these Made by Elves left. And then I only have 1 of the Bluebells and Buttercup. I do have more of them coming though, okay? They are a lot of fun and easy to do, easy to take. You don't need any tools. As you saw, I didn't need scissors. I didn't need anything. Well, I did need scissors just to cut my pop dots, but if you had small ones, you wouldn't have to do that either. So they are a lot of fun, not a lot of waste. Punch everything out. It's all perforated. It has all the numbers on it. Follow the numbers and you're off to the races. So good luck to whoever is going to win this card. Be sure to leave a comment. We will do the draw for it tomorrow by 4 o'clock at end of day. I think I'm going to be back tomorrow with another live at 4 o'clock as we have another big order coming. So you guys are going to get sick and tired of seeing my little hands. I was going to say my face, but you don't see my face anymore. So I hope that you guys try these down the road. Again, I'm going to have a lot more come in. I'm looking for different styles, different types, different themes. Gary had mentioned to me that wouldn't it be fabulous if there was one that, like, for sports, like a hockey player, and the hockey player's got the stick in his hand, and, you know, and then there's a puck over here. Like, he was saying it would just be incredible for soccer with a big net, you know, that kind of thing. So I'm hoping that they're going to take these possibly to another level. Would be awesome. So, you guys are so sweet. Thank you. I'm having a lot of fun. I must say, since the store opened almost 9 years ago, I think I'm having more fun today than I ever did. I'm super excited for the future. I'm super excited for what's coming out with the stock, just all of you lovely people. I'll go through the comments. I think, Brenda, you asked for a tray, that kind of thing. So I'll go back through the comments after supper and pull whatever I need for you guys. Laren, have fun tomorrow with your cards, and I hope that you ladies try these. So have a lovely evening. Thank you for spending an hour with me, and we'll chat tomorrow. Thanks. Bye-bye.